Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. I want to say a very big thank you to all of my subscribers, the old subscribers and the new subscribers. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do. Today I will be showing you how to sew this pencil skirt with this back slit on it. As you can see, you see the slit on it. That's what I'm going to be teaching you how to sew today. Some of my subscribers, they actually requested for it. So now we'll go back to my table. Let me show you how I made this beautiful skirt. Thank you so much. Like I said, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. You can ask me any question you want. You can tell me what kind of video you want me to make, and you might be surprised and just grant your wish. Thank you so much. Okay, like I told you initially, this is the taffeta that I'm going to be using for the inside of this fabric. As you can see, it's transparent. So because of that, I'm going to be using the taffeta. This is the lining. So now what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be using my taffeta as my original fabric. So everything that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be doing it on this taffeta. So I'm cutting my skirt with this taffeta, then cut my lining also with the taffeta. So assuming you are making use of a print, just assume that this taffeta is your print. Is when I'm done, I'll now cut out, I'll now use this taffeta to cut out my lace. So I'll keep the lace aside and then work with my taffeta, assuming that this is your fabric, any fabric of your choice that you want to use for this straight skirt with a back slit. So for this skirt, I'll begin by folding my fabric. This is actually leftover fabric from what I've used before. So I'll fold it into two and measure out my length. So see, I'm actually looking for 45, so I have 47 here, so this is good to go. So I'll fold my fabric. I'll fold the hip for this skirt is 40. The hip is 40, while the waist is 34. So I'll fold, like I always say in most of my video, for you to determine how wide your fold will be, you divide your hip into the hip into 4, which is the largest part of the measurement. You divide it into 4, and then you can add like between 3 and 5 inches, depends on what you want. So that means, like for this, when you divide 40 into 4, you have 10. So if I add 5 inches, what I will be left with is 15 inches. So that's what I'm going to be working with. I don't want the down part of the skirt to be too wide, so I'll leave it at that 15 inches. So I start, like most times, I'll just make a straight line here for me to determine where my waist measurement will be. Like I told you, I said the waist is 34. So when you divide 34 into 4, you have 17 divided by 2, which is like 8. It's not up to 9 actually. So I can just approximate it to 9 inches. I'll mark here and then use 2 inches as my allowance. That's for the waist. Most times what I normally do, initially when I started sewing, I was always having problems with my hip whenever I'm making this kind of things. At times the hip, it might be up, or at times it might be down. So my teacher now told me that most skirts, your hip should be between 6 and 9. Between 6 inches and 9 or 10, depends. That is why I'm always making these two lines. So this is 6 inches. This is 6 inches, while this is 9 inches. So my hip measurement should be here. It should be in between this part. You can, if you don't know, for people that are for beginners, you can come here down and put your hip. At the end of the day, you find out that the hip is down. As in when you're putting on the skirt, the hip is down. So when you make use of between 6 and 9, your hip is always perfect. So like I said, the hip is 10 inches, which is 40. I'll measure 10, Then I'll add like 2.5 inch as my allowance. I'll just curve it to join the up part. That's the waist measurement. Then I'll still put I'll still come back to the top. I'll still put my tape here and measure my knee. The knee measurement is 19. You always measure from your waist down to the knee. For this one, my knee is 19. So I'm going to be making use of 30. That is 30 for my knee measurement. So 30 divided by 30. Okay, sorry, I'll make use of 32. Let me make use of 32. That's 8 inches. When you divide it into 4, you have 8 inches. So I'll have 8 here, and then I'll now add 2.5 inches. I don't want my skirt to be too wide. If you want it to be wide, you can use 3 inches. So I'll now bring it down, bring my measurement. This is from the hip measurement. I'll bring it down here. As you can see, it's joining the hip measurement. Like I said it is a straight skirt. So most times what I normally do, I don't really want it to be straight, as in pencil, very pencil straight. All I have to do is just take my chalk like this and gladly slant it down. Just slant it down. You know, initially what I measured here was 15 inches, as in that was my fold, was 15 inches. So as you can see now, it has reduced to 14. I just gladly slant it down. As you can see, this is the shape of the skirt. I started by measuring out the waist measurement, measured the hip, which I said I'm inserting my hip in between 6 and 9. I inserted my hip measurement here, then my knee measurement, then I slanted it down. So this is you can see it is very simple and easy. This is it. I'll cut it out. I'll now use this with this. I'll cut a second one, which is for the back. So I've gotten the part. I'll leave 1 inch at the back. For this skirt, I said it is a slit, it's not an overlap. So since it is a slit, I'm using 1 inch as my allowance at the back. So I'll cut out a second piece like this. Like I said it's 45 inches, so I'm going to be cutting out this part. I'll make a notch here. That is for the zip allowance. So this is the front part piece of the skirt, and this is the back. So this back part, I'm going to be opening it. I'll open it. So I've opened the back. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be cutting the lining. When it comes to skirt like this that you're going to be turning, I'm going to be cutting the lining, because it's a full lining. You line it full. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'll cut my lining. Initially, like I said, I used 45 inches for my length. from that 45 inches, I'm going to be dropping 1 inch. That 1 inch is what I'm going to be using to turn. So whenever you're cutting your lining for this this kind of skirt, always leave like a 1 inch allowance at the down part. So I'm folding now. As you can see, I'm using the entire length of this lining. I'm using the entire length. I already have my 1 inch, so I don't want to turn it the other way since this length is okay. So I'll just fold carefully and cut out. Always cut and make sure 1 inch is remaining. 1 inch is remaining. Your lining should be 1 inch shorter than your original fabric. As you can see, you see that it's 1 inch shorter. See, this is the lining and this is my fabric. It is 1 inch shorter. So you can use 1.5. You can use 1.5. So now this is the back part. So I've opened the lining too, just like the original, just like my original taffeta, that's like my original fabric. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'll use my taffeta to trace out, as in to cut out my lace. I'll just open it up. This is the back. So the next thing now, I'm going to go to my machine to actually show you how to turn it with the lining. How to turn the straight skirt with the lining. As you can see, I've finished attaching the taffeta to the original fabric. So since it's going to be a full lining turning, like I've cut out the lining initially. So you know that initially we reduced the measurement of the lining by 1 inch. So what I'm going to be doing now is, you take your lining like this. This is the back piece. You place it on it. Remember that 1 inch that we reduced it with. Let me come close to the camera so you see it. You put it like this. You can see 1 inch is remaining. You make a notch here. Make a notch here. And then make another one here. You do it to the second one and the front part also. After doing it, then we'll go to my machine and I'll sew it and turn it and show you how to do it. Then you know the meaning of this notch that I just made here. So like you can see, I'm now on my machine. So to make the full lining turning for your straight skirt, you take the down part. You can see this is the down part of the lining. That is the down part of your skirt. Then you take the down part of your skirt, that's from your fabric also, the down part also. You take it like this. You take the lining, you face it like this, face them inside out like this. Look at that place that I made that notch on it, that 1 inch notch. You take your lining, the down part, you place it like this at the down part of your fabric. You can see it is equal now, but initially it was not equal. So you place it equally on it like this on your machine. And then you sew straight. remember initially this is the notch that I made. So you take the notch like this. This is the lining now. It is joined on it. You take from that notch part, you bend it. You bend it. As you can see, the lining has now dropped to this side. As you can see, I bent it from the notched part. You just fold it like this on the notched part. Then you now start sewing the side of your. You now start sewing. You notice I did not just start sewing it flat straight like this. I had to bend it from the knotted part, that notched part. I bent from there and I put my lining up and then place like this on your machine. Then you now start sewing. And note, as you are sewing it, make sure it is straight, or else if it is not straight and flat, your skirt will be bulky. So you see, the lining is flat, the fabric is flat. Then I'll turn the other part. I'll take my other knot. You see this side is folded this way. So you take the other notched part and still bring it down this way. Take both of them should be on the same line. As you can see, you see it's already straightened out. So you take the other knotted part, you place like this on your machine again. So make sure your lining is straight. This side is excess. When I'm done, I'll cut it out. But as you are sewing it, just make sure your hand is straight. If it is not straight, you run into problems. So I'm done. I'll trim off my excess. So next I'll turn it out. As you can see, it is straight and perfect. So now I'll do the same thing to both sides. I'll take it to my ironing table and then iron. So and then come back to show you. As you can see, it is now ironed out. This is the back piece and this is the front one. So now for you to get the slit at the back, what you take, this is the zip part. This is the zip part. So you take it like this and you take your measurement, your normal measurement. So like initially the waist of this dress of this skirt was 32, that's 8. When you divide 32 into 4, you have 8 inches. So you place it here. This was the 1 inch allowance that we left initially. The 1 inch allowance that this part did not sew properly, but no problem. The 1 inch allowance that we left initially. So you take it like this. So I'm just going to show you how to get your slit at the back. The slit, it should be done on the zip side. So I still have my 8 inches. Always check. Then for the hip part, what I need is 10 inches. So I have my 10 inches here. So I'll just continue like this. I'll just maintain that 1 inch down. So when you get to where you're going to be stopping, how long do you really want your slit to be? Me, I don't want mine to be too long. I don't want it to be opening too much. So I'll take my tape like this and measure. I'll leave it at 16 inches from the down part. At 16 inches. So when I get to my machine, I'll sew and stop here. I'll sew and stop it right here and stitch. When I get to this point, I will stitch it. I'll come back, I'll sew it, come back and show you now for you to see the slit. As you can see, I finished sewing it, so I ironed it out. Down. This was where I stopped initially. This was where I stopped. I told you, depends on how you want your slit to be. So when you turn it out, you can see your slit on your skirt. So that is how you make your slit on your straight long skirt. That is how you make your slit on your straight long skirt. It's just for you to join the front piece to the back piece, and then you're good to go. As you can see, I've come to the end of this illustration. Was this video helpful to you? If it was, let me know. Comment, tell me. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Like Stylish Nigeria YouTube channel, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.